Okay, so we're back. We are going to try to work on our script. So I kind of forgot where we left off. So I'm just going to see if I can start from the beginning. Anyway, if you need to fast forward, that's fine. Skip ahead. I'll try to put some links on when I actually get into the data. Let me share my screen here and we'll get going. So I'm in Arc Pro. I got 2.5 loaded up and I updated my Python IDE. So if you go to project, make sure that your Python environment is a cloned one. That way you can have Spider and it'll run correctly. So you want to make sure you've got your, uh, I've got version 2.5 here. So that is not the original one. If you aren't sure, you can check out here and you should have your standard, your default, right? And that's going to be in program files. You're going to copy that folder, paste it into this folder, give it a new name so you can tell the difference. And then I've got that running. So I know I'm running with a cloned environment and I have Spider and I can see that. I've put that down here. That's installed and I was able to pin that to my taskbar, which is down here, started it up, and so we've got Spider running as well. Convenient thing is that it has most of your other files that you had open before. So that's either good or bad, whether you wanted to or not. All right. We are back in ArcGIS Pro. I found my old Mesonet climate division buffer site model. And so I can go ahead and edit that. All right, and that's this model. That's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and, I can go over to export, and I'm going to export it as a Python file. And I've done this a couple times before. So we've got, we're going to have climate from model builder with feature to feature. So that's the one we're going to use. So I'm going to go back over to Python, or my Spider, excuse me, and then open up that file. So that one I believe is just in documents. If it is, let me double check and see where I put it. So it's always this remembering where you've exported things. I export it to projects, so that's probably not the best place to put it, but it's in my project because I think that's originally the project that I was using for this. So I can close that and go to my project, go to Spider, yep, documents. Then we go to ArcGIS, and then projects, and then it's the project's called my project, and then it's in here with the feature to feature. And okay, so that's looking pretty good. I got three features or three processes at the end, and see if I can. I'd really like to make this a little bit bigger. Let's. We are going to. I'm trying to figure out my settings here. I can pause the share. I can stop the share, and then I can pause the recording. I want to pause it and see if I can adjust these. Okay, so we're back. I adjusted my settings. Let me share my screen. My goodness. All right, so I have able to increase the text size here in my Python window. So to do that, if you need to do that, go to Tools, Preferences, and under General Appearance, and you can adjust the size. So here I'm running about size 16. Hopefully you guys can see that a little bit better. I wasn't sure. I didn't bring my glasses today. I always do that. I've got 4 pair, and I know where 2 of them are type deal. Anyway, so we've done this before. We've looked at this before. And okay, so we've been able to run this, and it doesn't. We're not able to add. We should be able to run this now. Let's run it. And see what happens. Yeah. Oh, let me just should just run normally. There we go. All right, we'll see how that's going. Let's run on this file. See what outputs we get. If it kicks us back any errors or not. Okay, it ran good. Great. So let's go see what happened. We'll go back to our ArcGIS Pro. And let's see where the output was. I didn't notice where the output is. So the ArcPy buffer, the output feature class. is NE buffer 25. Okay, so that is up here. So we can look in the variable explorer and see any buffer 25 is in my project geodatabase, any buffer 25. Okay, so let's go pull that up, see what it looks like. My project, and it's just in geodatabase, and there's any buffer 25. I have to manually add it to that. And notice that it didn't select the climate divisions. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and deal with that later. But we don't want to have to manually go and add this each time, right? It's very annoying. So we're going to try to get our code to do that. So to do this, you have to add a little extra code. First off, you got to set up some parameters. So at the very top, after our import ArcGIS, we're going to make an environment. So set the environment for the active or current, what's it called? Project, excuse me. So I'm just putting in some little notes here. And then so we're going to call something, we're going to make a variable. We're going to call it APRX. Yeah, that's the extension for a project. And we're going to set that equal to, what do you think it would be? ArcGIS, right? We know it's going to be an ArcGIS dot MP dot, let's see, what else? What else? Oh, it took a while for this one to load up. So let's see. Oh, it's actually ArcGIS project right there. I'll hit tab. And that is going to be what? We're going to set that up as an argument. And then we have APRX path. This portion here, we got to give it a path. So for this particular one, we want whichever window is open, or whichever, excuse me, whatever project is currently open, we're going to use that one. So we're just going to put in current. And we're going to hit enter. You can run this and it won't make any difference because it's not actually doing anything. Now we're going to add, that's all we have to do for that one. After this, we're going to make an expression because we want to add this buffer. So I'm going to make another note here. This is what I'm going to do. We want to add buffer feature class to map. All right. So before in desktop, we used to have a map document, which has now been kind of replaced with a project. And within map document, we used to have a view, a couple different views. We'd have data view and layout view. Now in desktop, or in excuse me, in Pro, we have a project, which is the umbrella for everything. And within a project, you can have several different map views. So they're just called maps. So I might put up here like the old data view. You could think of it as this, right? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and set that up. So we want to make another variable, and we're just going to call it M because we're lazy, right? But we know M stands for maps. M equals, let's see if I can remember the code right. Pardon me, it's ArcPro, or ArcPy, excuse me, ArcPy. Actually, it's something different. We can just go straight to, because we've already defined a mapping feature or function, excuse me, called ArcGIS project called current. So now we know that APRX means it's the whatever current project you have open. So M is now, we can go to APRX dot active map. We'll pull up the active map. Well, which one? We want the one that's actually called map. And which one of those? Well, in case there's more than one, we're going to put in a bracket, and what's required here is it counts from 0 to 10, or 0 to 9 by 1. And so the first one is actually going to be 0. Okay. So now we've set up another variable called M, and that actually equals this active map. So now we can do another one, and we'll just put in an actual command. So it's actually going to be kind of like a process. And that's going to be M dot, let's see if this will work. Or is it add feature? Let me see what it is actually is supposed to be called. I thought that might load it up. Is it M dot add so APRX dot M APRX add data, or is it M dot add data from source? This is what we're trying to get. Hey, I can't remember this. You get stuck. Hey, I sort of remember what the code's supposed to be like, but you know what? It's been a couple hours. So what do? Let's go search. All right. Oh, there's my last search. I didn't know how to do that. Hey, even people, all people search. So let's try. What would we search for? Let's just try mapping or MP. How about just ArcGIS or arcpy.mp dot map? Oh, it's in map. That's right. Add layer. Add data. Is there something like that? Map ArcPy. So let's see if we got this one here. Click here. This is in ArcGIS Pro. Good. That's the first thing we want to check out. Okay. Properties. Okay. So this is in map. So that's what I needed to do. I needed to go map. And what else do we have? Add data from path. Okay. So it provides the ability to add a layer to a map in a project APRX by providing a local path or URL. All right. So we can add any data we want. And then within this is actually within the map. Okay. Let's go ahead and try that. Let's see if this will give me the correct code that I need. All right. So do I just need to do map? Let's try it again. Map dot m dot map dot no map dot add data is what it should be. To from feature. Oh, from source, right? And then you tell it what source. What source would it be? Well, it's going to be wherever this output is. So let's just call it any buff 25. I hate this variable because this is limiting us to just calling it that one, but we're going to use that because that's we start out at the beginning, right? We'll start with that. Let's see if that's going to run. I don't think this is correct. I have to see what's going on here because it's going to show that that is actually not a feature of map. So I wonder if I just did m dot add, right? I think that should work. I wish that would have loaded up for me, but let's see if we can try it again. M dot. Mine seems to be connecting a little slow, but let's see if this will work. All right, let's save it. Where do I save? All right. We know that this is called this Mesonotic Climate Division Stone Sites Buffer feature class. Okay, so we'll go into, we could run it here. What will happen if we run it right now? It's not going to work. It's going to give us this error. So let's try it and see what happens, right? I always love to learn stuff. Okay, first off, it gave me all this red stuff because we've already opened up ArcPy, right? We don't need to reload that. And then it's going okay, it seemed like. And then here we get an error. ArcGIS scripting, mapping, current, right? It doesn't understand what current is because this is running in Spider, not inside Pro. So let's go to Pro. Doesn't mean it's wrong, it's bad code. It just means it can't run in this environment. All right, so we've got it saved. So let's go to Pro. And oh, we got to add this, right? So we got to put it in a toolbox. So let's add this new tool. We'll go new, script. Let's give it a name, script buffer script. Okay. The label will be called Mesonet sites buffer, something like that. Good. Let's go find it. All right, where did we put it? Oh, it's in the same spot. We've saved this. Let me expand this so I know I'm getting the right one with feature to feature. Okay, so we saved that one. All right. And that's all we really have to do. We can do okay, and we've got it in here. We should be able to open this and run it. Notice I have no parameters because they're all hardwired in. Let's see what happens. I may get an error because that last code, I don't know if I did that map right. I'll have to go look and see. Active map, M equals APRX active map, map one. All right. It's saying that this is not correct. I didn't set that code up right. Yeah. And if you need to see more, you can always expand it out, right? I was trying to run, right, saying that this file popped up an error, particularly on this code. Type here, map object is not callable. So I can't call up that map because why? It says I can't call that one up. Maybe my code here is wrong and I should have, this is, I need to correct that. Let's see. So let's go ahead and look and maybe see what I did wrong, and I'll see if I can get back to you, and we'll figure out why that wasn't. Okay, so we're back. I don't know what I was thinking, but we'll show you what my fix for this was. You go back to sharing my screen, and yeah, we've got this added to our map document. And I opened up the Python window and just tested a couple things and got it. Was able to get it to run. So let's see if I can correct this. So I'll go back to my spider. And so I was using the wrong format. So before, or the wrong feature. Before I'm trying to use an active map like a map list. So what I had done in class today, and I'm going to show you both ways that you can do it, and we'll figure out which one you want to use. You can we'll set a m variable. So m equals APRX, right? So that's the active or the current project. In that, we want to do map list is what I had done before. Get that pull up. I think it's list map actually, list map, yeah. List maps, and this is when we put it into the parentheses, and then we're gonna call it, which ones? We're gonna call it map. And then of that, we're gonna say we wanna put this bracket and make it a 0. So that's the first map. And so listing all maps, M is in that current project, list all the maps, find the first one of them that's called map, and then we're gonna find the first one that's called map. That's what it's called. All right, that's what it does. And we're gonna put whatever map that is, and we're gonna put it into the variable of M. All right, that's one way to do it, and that's the way I've done it in class, but I'm gonna go ahead and note that out. And so maybe I will go ahead and call this one call map. Actually, yeah, this is all this is doing, call map. That's really all it's doing. But I'm going to go ahead and note that one completely out because I don't want to use that. I want to use something different. We're going to use this one. It's still, we're going to create another variable. But instead of going a specific map, we're just going to call it, hey, M equals whatever the active map is in APRX. And we know what APRX is, the active current project. So, and this way I don't have to say whatever, whichever map is active, you can run it in whichever one. I don't have to tell you what map to use. So I'll go ahead and put another notation on top of here, specifically calling out calls the use of current or active map. All right. Great. Now within that, and I can delete that last one. Then we can go ahead and within map, right? Whatever is in the active map, I can go ahead and just do m dot. It probably is not going to give me that option, but it's going to be m dot. What I want to do here, add data from source. And then which one do I want to add? I actually want to use the variable called nebuff25, but we're going to end up changing that. Okay, and that's all I have to do to add it. So hopefully this will work. So I'm going to put another, oh, I don't need it there. And then right here is really, I can take that and put that down here because that's really what this is for. Okay, let's save this. And then I'm going to go back into ArcPro. I'm going to delete this off. And what's the script that we used? Mesonote sites buffer. Okay, just open that. See if we can run it. And here we go. I'm getting kind of nervous. It didn't work. Let's see why. View details. What's it saying? Failed to execute. Map object has no attribute. Add data from source. Okay. Should be, oh, from path, not source, right? I got the wrong syntax. So actually what I could do is I could just copy this one because I know this one works. Control C, close that out. I'll Alt tab back into my spider and I can really just paste it over this. Control V. And that puts up that one. But all right, that's going to run. But it's calling it specifically from that. What if I change the variable? What if I change that and I just want to use the variable name? So let's go ahead and put that variable name in here, and that's called any buff25, I think. Let me check. Any buff25. Okay. What are we getting here? Code analysis, undefined name, right? So that's saying that that's not. Oh, man, isn't this active environment nice? Because now it found that that wasn't an active variable when I had a capital B, and I looked at it, told me that, and then it'll show me where my other one is, right? There it is. It's up here. So I actually got that match. That's pretty nice. Let me tell you that 5 years ago they didn't have something like that. So this is very, very handy. I know it's frustrating learning, but we're in a pretty good spot right now. So let's go back to our Pro, and right, we know that didn't work. And actually, I shouldn't have to reload it because it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna call that file that we made, that Python file, and it's gonna run it. And it added it automatically. And man, we are done. So if this worked for you, go ahead and stand up and shout. Just celebrate because that's a win. And we are moving ahead at light speed. I feel like we are making some good progress. So if that didn't work for you, that's okay. We're going to go ahead and see if we can clean up my code. So hopefully yours will look a little bit more cleaner as well. And you can understand what we're actually doing within that code. So stick with it. Don't give up. This takes several hours, right? I'm spending a lot of time on it as well. So you need to be spending lots of time as well. Good luck. Ask me questions if you got questions, but feel free to follow along and hang in.